Hi, this is Pat Johnson, your sociology instructor. In this mini lecture, we're going to look at private schools and what funds private schools. In the United States, the difference between public schools and private schools is that public schools are publicly funded by tax dollars, whereas private schools are privately funded, usually through tuition. There are two different types of private schools. The first and the most predominant is a religious-based private school. Historically in our country, the Catholic Church had the most private schools in number. The private schools were there not just to teach a quality education, but also to teach the faith to students who were experiencing great prejudice in a predominantly Protestant society. So private schools predominantly had a religious orientation to them. The school you see right here is a local private school right across from the campus that I teach at. It is Annunciation Catholic School. Another type of private schools are college preparatory schools. These type of schools usually charge a lot more tuition and are focused more on academic excellence than teaching any particular religious faith. The school in the upper right-hand corner that you see is Epiphany School of Global Studies. It was started by the author Nicholas Sparks in New Bern, North Carolina. And although there is a Christian slant to the school, its primary goal is to teach a college preparatory education to the students. And I believe that tuition per student per year is about 10 to 12,000, somewhere in that range. In the lower left-hand corner, you see a Rendell Parrott Academy. This is a private school in Kinston, North Carolina, that has an even higher tuition than Epiphany does. And a Rendell Parrott Academy, again, is preparatory, trying to give the best quality education in the area, trying to beat out the public schools in preparing students for college and career beyond. So what are some of the differences between private schools and public schools? Well, first of all, private schools usually have smaller classes. Usually the school itself is smaller, not always, but usually, than the adjacent public schools. Most private schools, not all, but most have better outcomes. In other words, students do better on achievement tests in private schools. And this may be because of higher quality of education, but it could also be that the parents are more invested, as shown by the tuition they are willing to pay to the students for the students to go to the private school. Another characteristic of private schools is that they're usually more homogeneous. And homogeneous is a word meaning same. In other words, if you look at pictures of students, you will often see students where there is not a lot of diversity. Same type of parents tend to send their children to the same private school. So there's much more homogeneity in private schools than public schools. The funding for private schools usually comes through tuition. In other words, check that the parents write to the school to pay for the child's education. This is in conjunction with the property taxes they pay that are funding the local public schools that their children do not go to. Some private schools offer complete or partial scholarships so that students who are high achievers and possibly of lower economic income can go to that private school. Finally, some cities in the United States allow what are called school vouchers. School vouchers are intended to help low-income families give their children a higher quality education by giving tax dollars to the family in the form of a voucher that can be given to a private school to offset the tuition for the private school. Here in North Carolina, we do have a school voucher program. It's only a few years old. It was started in 2013. And if you're interested, you can look up education choice for North Carolina. They are opportunity scholarships. And a good portion of the tuition for local private schools can be paid for by the school voucher. But that summarizes the differences between private schools and public schools and the funding of those different schools.